Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back. Appreciate y'all being back. You know I do. I sure hope everybody's had a great week. Hope you've been able to enjoy some of the weather and stuff. Get outside. It's always important to get outside and enjoy some of the weather, even though it's about as hot as Hades as one can get. And if you live in the northern states here, you got a lot of smoke problems. So then you need to stay inside. You can't get outside and enjoy the weather. So, I mean, it is what it is. But just saying a few things, a couple things. Like I said, it's Friday. I hope everybody's planning on a good weekend. If one thing to do, if you fly drones, if you like to fly drones, you're going to get a drone to fly, because I do believe everybody should have at least one, and or maybe even two. A 250 gram or below drone, and maybe one above. The one above you definitely have to kind of register, but the one 250 below you don't. But one thing you do have to have, you have to have that. You got to have that to fly anything. And it's simple to get. It's free. Doesn't cost nothing. So if you plan on getting a drone, and I know some people think, well, I'm going to fly out here on my property and do this and that. What? Just go ahead and get the trust thing. It's just a good thing to have. It's like 15 questions or 10 questions, something like that. Stuff you should know, about flying. So, and anyways, prophecy and SHtF. Prophecy is the best possible reason that we're preppers. That's true. It's a fact. If it weren't for prophecy, we might not necessarily, there wouldn't be as many preppers, let's just say. There probably just wouldn't be as many preppers. And the reason being is that due to prophecy and things that are going on, like earthquakes where they normally don't have earthquakes, bigger earthquakes where they don't normally have big earthquakes, and like Mexico just had a 7.4. I mean, that's anything above 7 is significant, and they're happening all around. It's happening all around the Pacific Rim, as they call it. Rim of fire, which is volcanoes, and we're having earthquakes, and volcanoes are waking up. Kind of lets you be happy that you are a prepper, because if some major volcano eruption were to happen, it could darken the skies. It could cause all kinds of problems. The ash could go everywhere, especially if Yellowstone blew. That's a super volcano. Man, we don't never want that to blow as a super volcano, because if we do, man, we're looking at a major clusterfuck. You know what I'm saying? We're talking FUBAR big time. So that's something we don't want. But that's why we prep, right? That's why you buy long-term storable food, and as much as you can afford. Very important. Long-term storable food is what is going to get you through the times when supply lines or, they get cut or stretched or whatever. So it's just one of those things. If you live along the coast, hurricanes, there's one spewing down here now, which may or may not hit the coastline of the United States, but we're surely going to get a bunch of rain from it, at least where I'm at. And it's not that we couldn't use some rain, but there can be too much rain. And but if you live in earthquake zones, you live in Tornado Alley. Tornado Alley is a lot bigger than it once used to be. And if you're not prepared for it, you're up Doo-Doo Creek. Look at these people who have this mass flooding in Texas and areas like that. 20-some feet flood. That's a lot of water. And that can happen in a lot of places. It can happen in a lot of places just because it doesn't necessarily happen to you. If you're a couple hundred feet above sea level or 100 feet above sea level or better, you'll fare better. Obviously, the higher above sea level you are, the better. I myself, I'm 60 feet above sea level. That's, okay, depending, especially where I'm at, because we normally don't get flooding exactly where I'm at. But it could happen. And hence the reason I prep, hence the reason I have a decent supply of long-term and short-term storable food, because it's necessary. So in saying that, I just hope that everybody does prepare for the bad, because bad's coming no matter what is coming. We have a whole lot of issues, political, that's going on in this country. So we've never had quite so much crap going on as we do now. But, we could end up with a whole lot worse of a country if things, don't happen. If things happen wrong, we're probably going to get screwed in the long run. It's all in God's hands. Everything's in God's hands. What He allows will happen. If He doesn't want something to happen, then no matter what people say about it, or no matter what we say about prophecy, if the Lord doesn't want it to happen, it's not going to happen. So anything that goes on that's bad, and it continues to go on, it's not that He did it, but He allowed it. And He allowed it for a reason. You and I may never ever know reasons why some things get allowed. And, it is what it is. So, all right, then, in saying that, there's nothing but love for you guys. Truly enjoy the weekend. Do your best to stay cool, because it's bloody well hot pretty much everywhere. So, all right, then, until next time, be careful. Keep your eye on your six, watch your six always. And we'll talk to you later.